Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with DVD. How you doing? Now, I was over there minding my own business, as I sometimes do, no, usually do. And I ran up on an article about Kenya Moore. Then I was scrolling through these YouTube streets, and a photo came across the screen. And I didn't have my notifications on for this person. So I was like, why in the hell is she on my screen? But it just so happens to be Miss Wanda. Now, Miss Wanda has been quiet lately. Almost as quiet as a mouse pissing on cotton. However, she decided that she wanted to go around there on her YouTube channel and cause some shit. Now, who is she stirring up shit with this time? She's stirring up shit with Caramel Rail. Let's get right on into it, shall we? Now, here's the thing. And I'm just going to tell you like I tell the rest of them. This is my story time voice. And this is just me telling a story about Miss Wanda. Now, I have said many times that Miss Wanda is ignorant as fuck. But today, I just want to say, can it get any worse than this? It's a place for her kind of ignorance, but they're declassing Melody's show with this damn foolishness. Now she starts off by saying, oh girl ain't stunned none of you. Oh girl ain't stunned any of you. Now, the old girl that she speaks of is Melody. You're talking in the name of old girl. And this live just so happened to be about a BBL that LATISHA allegedly got. And the conversation included Funky, Wanda, and LATISHA. So here's the deal. Allegedly, LATISHA had a BBL. This BBL occurred a while ago because Tisha has put on legs and hips and body. So the legs and hips and body has been put back on. So the BBL is wearing off. Did she get a BBL? Of course. What are you talking about, Miss Wanda? LATISHA said herself that she had a mommy makeover. That's the first thing. So let's get into that. Let's dissect this thing. Now, when I first heard Caramel Rail say that LATISHA BBL was funky, I believed her. Now, did she actually smell LATISHA's BBL? I believe that she did. Funky said he was talking to Miss Wanda, and she said to Funky that BBLs can be funky. Now, mind you, instead of saying bad things about Funky Dineva, which she would never do, because she always says, I love me some Funky. Funky's my guy. Me and Funky go way back. Now, she said the same exact thing about Marcella over there. Now they're into it. I don't know if it's something about Tasha K or something about Funky Dineva. I probably will never know because I'll probably never be that big out here in these YouTube streets. But I will say this. They get into it with a lot of people. But anyway, I did feel some kind of a way when I would hear Caramel Rail speak on LATISHA's BBL, because to me this was another woman bashing another woman who was able to afford a BBL. And Miss Wanda says, yes, my daughter is a very beautiful black girl. Then she goes on to compare, and this is what made me click my fucking button. She goes on to compare Caramel Rail and Who Knew. Now, Who Knew, I don't know, from a can of paint, but I used to watch her a long, long time ago. But she doesn't come up on my notifications anymore. She's very light bright, damn near white, with very, very Caucasic features. Also, she has straight hair. Or maybe if she didn't have a relaxer, or maybe she don't have a relaxer, or she maybe have it straightened out or blown out or whatever, it's probably curly. Okay? So she has a loose curl pattern. These things seem to attract Miss Wanda. However, they don't attract Miss Wanda and Caramel Rail. Now, Caramel Rail, she says, is a high yellow red bone. The fuck? Caramel Rail does not look high yellow to me. Or maybe it's her lighting, but I don't ever see high yellow. But I said all that to say, she sounds like she's straight from the damn porch. And you know what that means when I say from the porch. That means country, ignorant, and from the plantation. Color struck and all. This motherfucker gonna have the audacity to say that she wasn't color struck, when she said all of the things that lead you to believe that she definitely is. Which I'm very proud of her to say that she loves her daughter, and even in her dark skin. But other people, maybe not so much. Because she said things like this: I've never seen an ugly ass red bone. Most of the time, high yellow folks are pretty. This is the ugliest ass red bone I've ever seen. If that shit ain't ignorant, I don't know what is. And like I said, she goes on to compare her to who knew. As if to say that who knew is actually what a red bone is supposed to look like. They're supposed to look like who knew, and not like Caramel Rail. Because Caramel Rail is an ugly red bone. And for some reason, this surprises Miss Wanda. Isn't that something? And people say colorism is dead. I think the fuck not. Moving right along. So now I wanted to talk about Kenya Moore. And this is hot news. I've seen it on Mim's channel. I've seen it on Tisha'S. Everywhere that you could think of, somebody is talking about Kenya Moore. Now, Kenya Moore is no stranger to me. She is my girl, okay? My best friend in my head. No, I'm just kidding. Not my best friend in my head, but I mean, like many other 90s girls like myself, you know, born in the 70s, raised up in the 80s and 90s, we know Kenya Moore very well, okay? I will say this. I used to be an avid pageant watcher back in the day, and which it surprises me because my sister no longer watches them. But she got me all into the shits, okay? And I definitely knew the difference between Miss America and Miss USA. So when Kenya came on the show, I knew exactly who she was. A lot of people have said that, you know, Kenya didn't make history because she was the second Miss USA. Shout out to Portia. But bitch, you didn't know that? You didn't know that she was the second Miss Black USA? We all knew, if we had grown up in that era, that she was the second one. And you should have known that before you met her, which is probably why she was so irritated with your ass. You thought that you ate that time when you came on the reunion and said Carol Guest was the first Black Miss USA. Fucker, we knew that. That doesn't mean that Kenya didn't make history. Kenya made history becoming the first Black Miss USA to me because she was of a darker hue. I didn't have to question. I didn't have to say, is she really black? Like with the rest of them. Shout out to Miss America, the first one, Vanessa. But I looked at that chocolate queen and said, I know that she represents Black folks. Why? Because I didn't have a question. You knew how we did back then. Is she mixed? Is she Black? Now, when Halle Berry also, I want to say Halle Berry did Miss America. Nope. No. Back then, Miss America had to do a talent. So I don't remember Halle doing a talent. But I think she was the second runner-up for Miss USA. I said all that to say, even then, I thought that Halle Berry was, I didn't know she was biracial. Because she was of a darker hue than Vanessa Williams. So I thought that, she was just a light-skinned Black woman. So I was equally as proud of her. But my point is, it wasn't a time when you laid your eyes on Kenya, you didn't think, wow. It is what it is. I go back to Miss Wanda. I knew this because I grew up with a chocolate Barbie. In my household. My sister. Now, as we grew up, she was so popular that I didn't have any clue what colorism was until it struck my family. But outside of my family, nobody addressed her as the dark-skinned one. I knew in our family that I was lighter than her because our family made it clear. So that's what I understood about color stir. Outside of our family, it was always, she looks better than you. She looks better than you. Your sister looks better than you. Da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because I went through that same thing that Carol Real went through with Miss Wanda. But should she look better than you because you're lighter? She's darker. And it seems like she should be the light one because she's prettier. So I definitely knew and we call it color struck in the South. I don't know what the hell. Because, like I said, Miss Wanda mentioned the word, I ain't no color struck. But, back to Kenya. So Kenya had all the things, right? She had the long hair. She had the bright colored eyes. But she wasn't light-skinned. And being dark-skinned, that may be playing into what's happening to her right now. Because she's the dark video vixen, formerly. And Brit is the light-skinned one. Now, Brit is not all that pretty to me. I'm just going to say that. I know she is to a lot of people. Because that's all I've been hearing. The beautiful Brit. The beautiful Brit. Yes. And Kenya's jealous of Brit. The only reason why I could think of people would say that is to say because she's lighter, she looks better. Yes. These are two what people perceive to be as beautiful women. Now, I don't question Kenya's beauty at all. But that one over there, that Brittany, not so much. I said to me, in my opinion. She does not hold a candle to Kenya to me, so Kenya doesn't have any fucking reason to be jealous of her. This all boils down to who's right and who's wrong, in my opinion. Now, just remember, everything I say is alleged in my opinion and for entertainment purposes only. It's not about that. It's not who looks better and who doesn't. Who's lighter, who's darker. That has nothing to do with this issue. This issue arose from Brit. And Akila said it best. Now, I heard someone say, and I don't know who it was because I was asleep. You know how you're in the sleep state and then you hear something, but you don't really know who said it. Someone said that Cynthia was a better friend to Kenya than Akilah because she told her the truth. She told her what she really needed to hear. Not in my opinion. Because what happened with Akilah is that Akilah was letting her know that she had her back. Not holding up for her wrong, but letting her know she had her back because for the simple fact that Brit was wrong too. And I'll stand on a hill with this one and say that yes, I really believe that had Brit been, instead of you people gaslighting us, shout out to the producers, and had Brit been corrected on her behavior from the beginning, and when I say from the beginning, I mean from the beginning. Had she been corrected on her behavior from the beginning, from the word go, when she said, I have pistols, whips, and chains, and we could quote that, right? Then there wouldn't have been a Kenya going to her event, making a damn fool of herself. Yes, I agree. That's exactly what she did. And for all those people who are saying that that was not a threat, go around there to your job and tell one of your co-workers at your job, and I'm talking about at the plant, because there's a lot of plants around here in my little small hometown in Mississippi. Go around there to the plant and say, I got a pistol for your ass. You're either going to be fired or you're going to jail. And Andy, I'm speaking directly to you. That's what you fucked up at. You all did nothing to Brit. And that's what's making you look bad on behalf of what happened between her and Kim. You're the employer. It was your job to come in and assess the situation in a better way. I don't give two shakes of a rattlesnake's ass because the word on the street is Brit had a lawyer. I don't give two shakes of a rattlesnake's ass if she had a lawyer. The point is, something should have been done to her as well. My thing is, if you weren't going to do anything to her, then you shouldn't have done anything to Kenya. And that way, they would have been even. If you were going to do something to one, you should have done something to both. Then that would have been also even. But the fact that you let that mealy-mouthed motherfucker, tight-nosed motherfucker, run around on that show and finish the season, that's my problem. Now let me get into what Kenya says in response to Andy Cohen and his co-hosts.
In this week's episode, they all said to Brit that you can't say that shit. And she was like, yeah, you're right, whatever. She shows up to Kenya's opening of her gorgeous salon, which is beautiful, that Kenya has worked so hard on, that she dedicated to her daughter. And it's this big event, opening it with all these people there. And Brit comes in and brings her flowers and says, I want to apologize to you, and a note.
Did you hear?
And Kenya totally ignores her, totally. And Brit's like, okay, I'm just going to leave these here. And Brit
now, mind you, at no point are we hearing
Kenya gets up
them say anything against Brit.
Opening about someone came after me and they shouldn't have, and I started looking into who this woman is, and this is who she is, and she starts showing pictures of her.
Like a poster board that she printed out.
And this is like one of the pictures is revenge porn type.
Yes.
Okay. One of the pictures is her
oral sex.
Yeah. And so
Revenge.
The Atlanta Housewives are like,
is what she said.
We're out, the place clears out.
Yeah.
And then there's and Cynthia said, in all my time at the show, this is the lowest I've ever seen anything get. And
Cynthia,
so
your titty got ripped out when
the show that says
Portia reached over and grabbed Kenya's head.
Well, they say
you were there
after
when
the movement. It's like if you show someone a dick pic or a nude pic,
8.
Without them saying, yes, I would like to see that right now. That's
Situation
like sexual assault.
came about.
Yes, Jordan?
Well, I was going to say, the bad part of it and the sad part of it was that, like you said, it was Kenya's opening of her store that she worked so hard for, and that it's been Kenya Moore hair care for years, and it was like a big moment for her.
Kenya
She should have been celebrating herself, but instead she used the time to like
Kenya Moore
do revenge porn and bring somebody else down, and at the end of the day, it was such a bad look for Kenya.
Bad look for Kenya, not Brit.
Business.
What's she thinking? Jody from
What was she
Minneapolis. What
thinking?
did you think?
Yay, hi. Also, I'm just so proud of Bravo and how they handled it, and all the housewives that left after Kenya showed it. It was so trashy. And it was so negative and ugly, and I don't know, I think a few years ago, not all the wives would have left after that, but I'm really proud that they all left. And, you know, Brit...
I'm so proud of them because they left.
I didn't feel like it was totally like, I'm going to go kill you, Kenya. I think it was just her talking smack, and oh my gosh, Kenya just took it way too far, way too far.
What happened to...
In statements by Kenya, powered by Miss DVD. Shout out to Quad. If you all have not seen it, go around there and look at Contessa imitating Miss Quad. Baby, this is my first time ever seeing that or remembering it. Or maybe it was an outtake. I don't have no idea, because I think that I will remember Contessa's personality on that. Because, baby, when I tell you she had Quad down to a T. But let me get on to what Kenya was talking about. She says, the two co-hosts, quote, unquote, are extremely ignorant. Sexual assault is 8. Remember, that's what Phaedra accused Candy of attempting with Portia. 8. When I say she ate, like Orville Redenbacher popcorn down to the movie theater. That I'm talking about myself because I love Orville Redenbacher popcorn. Revenge corn. If someone showed Kim K's X8 to you, is that revenge corn? I found it, plus tons of others online. She signed a release for it to be so fair, a receipt. Warning, 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 warning. If you are not an attorney and familiar with a Georgia state law, then STF should have looked up. I know that's right. Sick of these biased and selective outrage comments. These comments should not have been aired. It's a broadcast. Where's your legal squad? She said team, but I'm saying squad. You don't want to get Kenya activated. I shouldn't have shown that at my event. But for the love of God, why would they ignore a clear, fun threat? Put a G in front of fun. Now, when I tell you Kenya came back to life with that one, I know she been sitting on that reed for 18 months. And so, I said all that to say, I'm still Team Twirl. Yes, again, I have never said that she wasn't wrong, other than the fact that I thought, when I first did my first piping hot tea on this, I thought that it was CGI. I want to say that I said that it was CGI or a manufactured picture, or it wasn't a real picture, or something of that sort. Well, we find out that the picture was actually real. And we also find out that Brit was production protected. No matter how much you dislike Kenya, I cannot see for anything in me, and that includes my breath and my heart, where I can ever understand people saying that Brit is the innocent victim in all of this. Kenya Kenya, I'm talking to you at this point because you have really pissed me off. You let that girl go around there and get a damn attorney on you when you should have done the same thing to her. When that bitch went round there to Bravo and said, I have an attorney and I'll fix y'all, and she scared them up, you and your seniority should have done the same thing. Because she probably could sue you personally. But you can sue Bravo, Andy, and then sue her for what she sued you for. The fuck? And wrongful termination. Okay? Remember, seniority. And regardless as to whether they have a union or not, Kenya, you're an actress, honey. You're an actress as well. So I know you have a union representative. Please tell me that you have exhausted all of your avenues in this matter. Because people out there have their biases for you because they don't like you. But I'm speaking of someone who has been an officer of the court and has worked with many, many attorneys and spent many hours watching Judge Judy. And I definitely know how civil court works. And Judge Mathis, don't let me leave out the black man. Okay? So I have a pretty good understanding of court. Maybe, just maybe, you should have let them fire you. And then you sue their asses for not firing her. And that I'm going to close. Come on in. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload a video. Now, again, remember, everything I said is alleged and in my opinion, based in fact, sentence how I quoted Kenya. And also, that you listen to the video of Andy Cohen's ass. But that's neither here nor there. It's still entertainment purposes only. And this has been my piping hot tea. And as I do when I close, I'm going to chunk them up. Deuces.